Bethany and Sparky here.
Hey guys,
with
welcome.
Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode number 75.
Bethany almost got bit.
Bowie is the sweetest, most adorable chihuahua, but I just annoyed him.
I know.
He's, look at him. He's like, don't pet me. I want to do stuff. He's such an active little dog. He's so good. Yes, hi, Bowie. Hello. Okay, so episode number 75. Please, when you ask your questions, can we have the age and the breed of the puppy or breed mix? Because it does make a big difference in our advice.
So I'll tell you, Cavalier King Charles versus a Husky, very different types of breeds, very different types of dogs.
Even 12 weeks and 18 weeks, stuff like that. Okay.
He is moving. He's wanting to do stuff right now.
Whatever.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
kisses.
thank you.
No, creepy sniffs, no kisses.
That's
I
'cause,
have a dog that does creepy sniffs too.
It's because Cheyenne licked my beard this morning.
Oh, is that why?
He's smelling a beautiful dog.
Is that why? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, question number 1. You want to go?
Yes. We have Zibizoo. Zibizao.
Zibby-zow.
Zibizao. Okay. What should a night schedule look like, and how do you train your puppy 10 months to sleep through the night? Sincerely, a tired dog mom. So 10 months is...
Sorry, be nice.
No.
You're
the mean one.
I was saying that to myself because I was about to be like, they stay in the crate.
Okay. So 10 months is not necessarily a puppy anymore. 8 months
not.
old, they stop being a puppy. And I'm not saying this to be like, hey, we're not going to answer your question.
Wait,
I'm
we're
saying
gonna
this
help.
only because it's going to change my answer, but it is going to go towards the mean one over here, which is just leave them in the crate. And no matter what they do, keep them in the crate. But let me give you more context behind that. You have a dog that, I'm going to guess, I don't know what they're doing, but you say you're a tired dog mom, so I assume they're barking
or whining.
They're crying to get out. Let me ask you this. What does your day look like before you put them in the crate? Because the nighttime crating doesn't revolve around nighttime crating. It revolves around what you've done before they've gone to bed. So let me give you my night, what my night's going to look like. Literally with one of my dogs who I'm on a 2-week stint of zero affection with. I'm on a 2-week stint of zero affection. Ladybug, don't give her affection today. Okay. Because she's gotten more barking, more whining, more frustrated.
Demanding.
She likes to pace throughout our bedroom. She's older. She's 8 years old, so she's not crated now, but she sleeps on her dog bed consistently all night long. However, she's not doing that. So what I've done with her is at the end of the night, we've done severely strong place practice, putting her on place, having her sitting down, not giving affection, feeding her and making her wait for her food. We are in like full-blown structure mode. So for you guys with a younger dog, a 10-month-old dog, which isn't a year old, so they're still kind of like adolescent dog stage, I'm gonna have a leash on them. I'll do a stint of crate before they go to bed. So let's say like 7 to 8 or 6 to 8, 2 hours in the crate. That's better, right? 6 to 8, 2 hours in the crate. Bring them out on leash, give them their potty, do some training, low-key training. I'm not like, puppy come.
Yeah, there's no energy behind it.
Puppy come, good. I've got good food though, so that's their motivation. My tone isn't their motivation, my food is, my routines are, my stimulation is. Puppy come, good, treat. Puppy come, good, treat. Puppy play, sit, down if they know it. Pause, take a breath, good, and then treat. I might even do 15, 20, 30 minutes of supervised separation, doing a back tether, so harness on.
What is supervised separation? Yeah.
I'm working towards it.
Oh, okay. Make it short.
Harness, leash, tether them something, because supervised separation is teaching them how to exist on their own. Key phrase, without access to you. Meaning that I'll do a back tie, I'll tether them something they can't drag. If I got a smaller dog, I don't have a breed here, so it could be a dog this size, a Chihuahua, I might even put them in a playpen. We're not super big on the playpens for an older dog because they might stand in there and just bark. But usually the back tie is kind of my big thing.
With older dogs, yeah, back tie is the way to go.
But for the 2 hours before they go to bed, I'm not giving them love. I'm not giving them affection. You have a dog that's going in the crate that's demanding to get out of that crate, demanding. So I say, okay, the last 2 hours of the night, maybe the last 8 hours of the day.
Yeah, you have to be. Oh, go ahead, finish your sentence.
I was kind of,
I would just kept talking. You have to be consistent. So, everything he said, but my question would be, when you enter into the room, does your dog get really excited and jump all over you? Or just dance around you like crazy? Where are you going? You trying to get over there? Okay.
Oh, buddy.
He was fine before we were talking. Okay. And so make sure your entrances and exits are really low-key, really boring. No, really.
Thank you.
See, that's why they go on the underside of your shirt. Okay.
I didn't. She was gonna grab Bowie. I love Bowie.
Really low key, and if you get a lot of excitement, you can't just ignore it. This is not a 12-week-old puppy. This is a 10-month-old adolescent dog. So you have to address that excitement. Be like, no, do not come at me with that energy. Face him directly. Say no. Pause. Wait. Take a couple of steps. Walking causes stimulation, so it gets them excited again. So take a couple of steps. If he jumps on you again, no, freeze. And you can address it a little bit if you've ever practiced this before by kind of moving into him, taking up a little bit of space, move in, no, freeze. Take a couple of steps and really basically manage his energy, but also disagree with too much excitement. All of this stuff is relationship based, okay? So we just want to make sure those things are happening during the day, that you're addressing arousal when it's happening at the wrong time, okay? The only other thing I would say is that if it's a potty issue, like a legitimate potty issue, you're gonna have to really work on your day schedule. So maybe the dinner needs to be right when you get home from work at 5:30, 6 o'clock rather than 7. Cut water 3 hours before bed. And if he plays or does some training or something like that, maybe just give him a piece of ice or a couple of licks before bed in that 3-hour window. And that would be the big thing. I would say,
Hey,
fuzzy. I would say, where the crate is placed is also really important. Maybe you're moving around and that wakes up dogs, and it can take time for them to get used to that. I know, he's getting feisty.
He's done. He saw Dallas go by one of our other chihuahuas.
Oh.
He's been fussy ever since. I do want to add one more thing
I'm not done
until
yet.
you're done. When
I'm
you're
not
done.
So,
Bye, Bowie.
what was I saying? Okay, so when you're moving around, they might wake up. So maybe he needs to go to another room. Also, if he's in another room and crate, play something for him. Radio, talking, plus a white noise machine. Those two things do two different things.
Put on Friends.
White noise machine for us, really helps drown out outside noises. But then the talking, like from a sitcom or radio or something like that, helps him feel like, there's regular stuff going on in the house. He's not just totally alone with the fan, humidifier, white noise. And so that can be really helpful too, just playing around with all of those things. If you know that there is an issue with pottying, so let's say it's not behavioral and it's pottying, how you're going to build that up is during the day. You're going to have to go back to a crate schedule routine.
Tight crate schedule routine.
To teach this dog how to hold their pee, their potty longer.
And if you have a, okay, cool, you didn't take mine. I was waiting for it. I thought you were going to get it. If your puppy. If you're, I was going to say puppy and potty.
Okay.
If your puppy doesn't go potty before you put them in the crate, before you go to bed, just so you know, you're not going to bed yet.
Yeah.
You got to get that final potty.
15 minutes. Do it again.
15 minutes, or take them out, 15 minutes in. Take them out, 15 minutes in.
Only spend 2 to 5 minutes outside.
Thank you. I was going to say, you are going out there and walking the neighborhood every time. You're spending 2 minutes to 3 minutes standing there like a tree. Oh, I'm yawning. Boy.
You would have forgot about that if I hadn't said something.
I was literally about to go into it.
Whatever. Sure.
We've only
Are you
been doing
done?
this for 13 years.
Are you done?
Yeah,
I think she got all the information she could handle right
Oh,
now.
wait. No, I'm done.
Okay. Danielle Marie. Hopefully that helps let us know. Zibby zoo.
Zibby zoo.
Danielle Marie says, 8-week-old new puppy. Tips on crate training, please.
I think we just gave them.
No.
Well, one, you're going to DM us for a schedule. That's your first big step. And second, you should check out our online school, which we have a ton of stuff.
Whoa,
Hey,
shameless
there.
shameless plug.
You know I'm going to do it. But let me give you some tips to get you to that point. So one, finding a crate schedule that works for you isn't about looking for the generic one online. It's about finding one that fits with your schedule. Most 8-week-old puppies are only going to be in there for about an hour.
Hour and a half.
I'm going to...
Okay. It's a Chihuahua
if you can do
an
hour and a
hour.
half, awesome.
It's a Chihuahua.
I got my Yorkies, I got Chihuahuas, I got Shih Tzus, I got all those little guys.
I thought you were cursing.
Just outside of our lives.
In my head, I was like, Sparky, we've talked about that.
Say it on lives.
Stop cursing on lives. Excuse me.
Really
Shih Tzu is a breed of dog.
It is Shih Tzu. So, shaming you. So, you need to find a schedule that works for your puppy. If you're having accidents past the hour mark, then take them down to an hour and do about 30 minutes of free time outside of it. And how you structure your free time is everything. So you have your puppy in the crate, you bring them out, follow the same routine we just gave for the last one, out for 2 to 3 minutes in a designated spot, stand there like a tree, don't follow them around the yard, we're just standing there. 2 to 3 minutes later, pick them back up, put them back in the crate. If they don't
She
potty.
didn't say potty training, she said crate training. So my brain is in a different zone than yours.
I think they kind of sync up. Most people who ask for crate training tips, they're also looking for potty training. 8-week-old puppy, come on now.
Not they're just barking and whining in the crate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still going to be following the
Okay,
same
you
thing.
finish yours and then I'll go into what she actually asked about.
They come inside. Ornery, okay. They come back inside, then you give them free time. Free time is broken up into 3 parts. Part 1, walk and play. Part 2, training. Part 3, supervised separation. What you do with your dog is what's going to help them inside of the crate. It's very similar to what we just talked about.
Crate training is
No. You don't get to take the good part. So you bring your puppy back inside. You do structured play. Fetch or tug with a good drop. You do structured training. Come, play, sit. Easy things that you can look up and find videos for in the first 20 seconds. My online school. See what I did there, Ricky? And then 3, supervised separation. That's teaching them to exist around you without always having access to you. Most puppies in the first 8 weeks of having them, if we don't follow good structure, develop separation anxiety. But separation anxiety is a trigger word. It's almost like a black hole if you look it up online. It doesn't necessarily mean addiction to affection. That's what I call like full-blown separation anxiety. Separation anxiety for young puppies is an addiction to attention. You're always giving attention. You're always carrying them. You're always moving them around.
Or
in
your
arms.
presence, just your presence.
Thank you. So by using supervised separation, playpen, or a tether, you're actually helping them learn how to exist by themselves before putting them back in the crate. Now, Bethany, would you love to unpack that? Because I know you will.
Basically, he touched on it, but I interrupted him, so maybe he would have said this. But
I probably wouldn't have.
your crate. Thanks for being honest. Your crate training and how crate training goes. Some of it's genetics of your puppy, and the rest of it is what you do in your relationship with your dog, your dog's relationship with your house outside of crate, what you're doing when your puppy is not in crate. Please keep that in mind. But I got a couple of quick things I want to go over with you. One, if anybody out there is really struggling with a lot of whining and carrying on, like your puppy has had this hard change of pack litter to all of a sudden single soul, it is so important that you don't become the litter mate that helps your puppy go to sleep. This is not a baby where we're doing, always nurturing, because that's like the new thing now is there's stress, with letting babies cry it out. So there's more nurturing. This is not a baby. So we just don't want that relationship between the two of you where you become like the sibling, okay? Like the puppy's siblings.
It'd be like the conversation we just had about another owner who literally had to sleep in her crate room with her dog for 2 weeks.
Right.
We don't want that for you.
But what you can do, that doesn't mean it has to be this hard punch and get over it. There are some things you can do to help. A white noise machine to help drown out outside noises in the house during the day. A radio or we really love sitcoms because of the type of fun dialogue, really light dialogue. If you can run it just over and over on Netflix, like Friends or something, that way they hear talking and they get comfortable with that. You can also play noises to desensitize noises. Cover the dog's crate. It should be a dark room, like putting a baby to sleep. And then
Snuggle puppy.
And then the snuggle. I was going to actually mention the snuggle puppy. That's not what you were talking about.
I'm talking about that thingy.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
snuggle
I thought
puppy.
you meant, I didn't know what it was called. Just go get a stuffed animal. Okay, so
it's probably cheaper.
It's way cheaper, but there is something called a snuggle puppy. Apparently, I just type on Amazon, whatever.
Any dog sleeps with that has heartbeat.
Yeah, it has a heartbeat and it even has a heating pad. Now, here's where these things go bad. 12-week-old, 14-week-old, they're pottying on it, they're chewing it up, it becomes dangerous. This is really just for a brief transition when if your puppy isn't that intense yet and they're not chewing things apart and stuff like that.
It's a source of comfort.
Yeah. That's not associated with you babying your dog and creating that association. Okay, one more thing is from day one, of course we're past day one, but from the next day after you see
anyone
this,
who's about to get a puppy,
anyone who's about to get a puppy, Stop letting your puppies out of crate without permission.
Woo! She got you with the hard one. This is for any dog of any age.
Yep. So you've got
you've
got your crate door, right? Spatial pressure is a dog's first language, and then honestly, us as humans ruin it. So one of the ways you can keep that going is with the crate door. So you introduce it with food, let them go in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and then when they're going in easily, they may not in first few days, even first few weeks. Sometimes they have to kind of, their butt be lifted a bit because they're not food driven enough. That's fine, no big deal. But at some point during the end of this exercise, that dog doesn't come out of crate without permission. You're going to use the crate door and slowly, just 2 inches, and slowly shut it. The dog might still press on it, and if the dog presses on it, you know you have a pushy dog, and you need to be firmer with that crate door. If the dog is just like, I don't really understand, I guess I'll wait, maybe I'll whine a little bit. You have a softer temperamented dog in that moment, so you can just open it a couple inches and close it calmly, rinse and repeat until the dog just settles back. They don't have to sit her down, it's a baby. It's 8-week-old as a baby. They don't have to sit her down right away. They just need to not push out of the crate.
And if they are pushing hard, you got to be
firmer.
You got to seek help.
Okay.
They're demanding to get out of there, seek help.
Okay, I'm going to forget. I've been forgetting today when I've been interrupted. Okay, so when the puppy is finally looking at an open door and not coming through it, then you can invite your puppy out. And maybe they don't want to come out. They're like, I don't understand this exercise. And so you might need to put a piece of food down and see if they come out. Or maybe you need to walk away. Maybe you're crowding the crate, and this is a sensitive puppy, and they're like, okay, you're saying come, but you're right in front of the door. So you need to get out of the puppy's way and just be patient. They'll come back out. But from that moment on, every time they go back in crate, they do not come out without permission, like forever, because eventually that'll be the front door and back door, and then not jumping up on people, and then a few days later not jumping towards the food bowl without permission. We're layering on boundaries and impulse control, and you can start with that crate. Okay.
Can we do an Instagram question?
That'd be great.
From Danny Doodle, I have a larger crate with a puppy divider and a small travel crate, which is easier to move around. Is it okay to crate train using 2 crates, or will that confuse the pup?
Yeah.
Use 2 crates. Is that travel crate a soft crate though? Because soft crates tend to eventually get opened by the dog, and then they push a crate for the rest of their life. Okay, not
Happy. My little dog Happy was so pushy that I learned that if I do the zippers that's not in the corner, she quickly learned to open that.
Yep.
So now in her brain, she's like, okay, in the soft crate I can get open. So even when she is so pushy. This is a little Maltese mixed diva. So even when I learned to keep it up in the corners and it's not soft travel crate. Let me just finish this real quick though for anybody out there with soft crates. I would even clip the tops of the zippers. She just went through the mesh because she had already learned if she's pushy,
it also
she can get out.
Digging habit when you eventually put them in a hard crate, and you don't have a hard. I know you don't have a soft crate.
So supervised
but for
only.
anyone else, if they're in that, they'll learn how to dig out.
Supervised only with soft crates. Multiple crates. Anytime you generalize, like when we do place, it's a cot, it's a bed, it's a blanket, it's any boundary, not a big carpet. It could be a little travel kitchen mat. It can be a target for anything. A crate could be plastic, wire, mesh, a whole number of things. So the more you're generalizing the command in places, areas, and the type that it is, way to go.
Okay, I want to come back to this one last if we have time.
Okay, then jump ahead. Tori.
Do you take the puppy out
Tori
in the middle?
Pitts. Well, I had to say the last thing.
Do you take the
23.
puppy?
Tori Pitts, 23.
Oh, you're good. Do you take the puppy out in the middle of the night or let them go in the crate? Also, for a 3-story house, could a grass patch on the roof be okay?
Yes, grassy patch.
Grass patch is totally okay.
Amazon will even do like monthly, every other week, or whatever you want. Shipments. Mm-hmm.
I know there's 1-800-GRASS. They also do it.
I don't know whatever's cheaper. Okay.
No, cheaper.
So,
do you let the puppy
in the
go
middle
out in the middle of the night or let
in
them
the
go
crate.
in the crate?
They do not go in the crate.
They're not supposed to go in the crate.
Unless it's an accident.
If they're going in the crate, that means that something is wrong with their schedule.
Yep.
Or maybe they're not on a schedule.
Or they're little. Did you get one of those little like teacup things? Because then you're just in trouble. But
they tend to pee more frequently, and you got to cut down their water. To give you an idea, though, and this is going to answer Imagine to Sleep as well, who asked about how do I. I'm double questioning because we're running out of time.
Go slow. Be clear.
How do I know my dog is getting too much water or not enough water? A general number that dogs should get is a half cup of water per 30 pounds of body weight every 2 to 3 hours. That's like the general average. So if you're a numbers person like I am, follow that number.
Yes, some breeds do drink more water than other breeds.
They do. Like Dalmatians can't not be given water.
Yep.
That's like a vet thing, like a scientifically proven thing.
And any mountain dogs and big floppy jowled dogs tend
they're drooling half the
tend to
water
drink
out.
more too.
Yeah. So just as a general rule, try to think of how much water you're giving your dog. If your dog's having a lot of accidents overnight, cut down that water hours before they go to bed, and make sure you get that final potty before they go to bed.
It shouldn't be free access to water.
Never.
It should be you monitoring it, giving it. Plus, if it's something of value, they should be waiting for it, but that's a whole
When
other
a dog
topic.
is old enough and you've taught the ability to self-regulate water, which comes after months and months of training and giving and taking away water, that's when you start leaving a bowl out if your dog is not having accidents. And then
Now,
2 weeks if they have accidents, take it back.
It would help us if you want to reach back out to us to give us the age and breed. Yeah, we like breed too. That would help us a lot, give more specific advice. Rule of thumb is no water 3 hours before bedtime. That's the rule of thumb. Even if you play with your puppy, they just get a couple of licks or a piece of ice or something like that. But during the day is when you really want to build on that. So you're like 2.5 hours for 2 weeks, and then 3, and then 3.5 hours. But at night, with this natural circadian rhythm, if you're doing the right structure with food and water during the day, maybe 7 p.m. feeding, he always needs to poop at 4 a.m. So you do it way earlier. And then if you can't, maybe you do it late. I don't know. You have to play around. You have to do some problem solving.
And also depends on age as well.
You can DM us for a schedule as well. And it also depends on the type of food she's feeding. But anyway.
Puppyacademy.com/online school.
Online school. She has potty training though. But anyway, don't become crazy about that, okay? All right, so our shameless plugs. So try some of those things, get back to us, see how it goes, and then we can just go from there. But if you know that there's like a strong 4-hour limit at night, then yeah, you got to set your alarm and take them out and put them back to bed. But during the day, you're trying to build up their ability to hold their pee in crate. Crate is good for many reasons, and one of them is to truly teach a puppy how to hold their pee.
And then eventually, you're not getting it. Nope,
You're doing all the questions today?
Of course I am.
Ugh, give
What's
it
your
to me.
Instagram question?
Do
Taylor.
puppies with bigger litters tend to have more separation anxiety? My 8-week-old Pitty is 1 of 13.
No,
1 of 13, that poor dog. Lord.
no. It has way more to do with
The breeder.
the breeder, how good the mom is, because let's face it, not all moms are the same, all right? You know what I'm saying? So how good the mom is in handling the puppies, and what the siblings are like. Like, were there a lot of dominant puppies in that litter that just mowed over the other half of the puppies and no mom stepped in to be like, hey, everybody cool it? You know, there's just a lot of aspects, and then there's genetics. So no. No.
Okay. By the sea, what's the best harness for a 4-month-old puppy, 26-pound lab mix? My personal preference is step-in harnesses. It looks like a little bra that you put one on each leg. I know, the last question's yours. One on each leg, and it Velcros and snaps behind the back. Papilla makes a really great one. That's the ones I usually pick up for my clients. And I saved that one for you because I'm not going to talk at all. I already know what I'm going to say.
For a
It's gonna be very
4-month-old
hardcore.
puppy, yes. For older puppies, if you decide to use a harness, which we usually don't for adolescent puppies, but if you did decide to, personally, I like the ones that you double time them with the leash like a horse, which is a clip to the front and a clip on the back.
Okay, with that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, how do you make sure they get enough water? Oh yeah. See, this is what you were not clear about. Imagine to sleep. How do you make sure they get enough water? Repeat that thing.
How do you make sure you give your dog enough water?
Not the question, the answer.
I gotta give both. It's for myself as much as that. So when you followed the number, I gave you half cup of water per 30 pounds of body weight every 2 to 3 hours. I talk fast, so rewind. And you're giving it every 2 to 3 hours due to your schedule. At the end of your free time, your 30 minutes to an hour or hour and a half to 2 hours of free time, you give your bowl of water for like 20 to 30 seconds unless they're a voracious drinker, then about 10 to 15. And then you take the bowl away, put it on the counter, put them back in the crate. They learn how to hold that bladder for 2 to 3 hours in the crate, depending on age.
They're just
hour and a half.
They just want to know water. And so different breeds, different water consumption sometimes.
Correct.
So
you got to look it up. You got to kind of figure out, and if you're getting accidents, cut back. If you're not getting accidents and you have a panting dog, feel the gum line. If it's sticky and dry, you need more water. If it's slimy and slick,
you're good.
Go.
Puppies often think they need more water than they actually do, and so they will learn to guzzle, and then they have accidents everywhere. And
they puke it up.
Or they puke it up. Yeah. So just keep that in mind, and just use common sense. You've got dry heat versus humidity, AC versus no AC, outdoor dog, indoor dog. All of those things make a huge impact.
But when you give the water, definitely matters. That's why we use this crate schedule, because that crate schedule gets you on a structured place to where you know when to give the water and when not to.
Okay, is there any more, or are we done?
You have this
5
one.
months old and it's always thirsty.
No, it's not. It's not always thirsty. It just looks like it is because it always wants water, but water is a resource just like food is a resource. Your Aussie's probably also always hungry, so it thinks it needs food just like it thinks it needs water like it thinks it needs food.
Also, is it a bit of a high drive type of dog, like high anxiety, high strung?
Moving constantly.
Do you feed all kibble, all dry kibble? All of these things can factor into your dog being thirsty. Okay, Melmo says, opinions on invisible fences for puppies with proper training. This is from Melmo. An invisible fence, for anyone that doesn't know, is an electronic collar. It's triggered by something underground, and there's flags for training. So it's an invisible fence. The puppy, the dog, gets a warning as they get close to the boundary, and then they are supposed to be trained. It's not something magical. They are trained to recall off of the warning, or they get reprimand.
Strong stimulation reprimand.
Yeah, strong stimulation reprimand. And there are different levels. It's very similar to snake aversion training, you know. So this person asked me, a puppy on an invisible fence. I'm gonna be super honest, and this is my opinion, and I grew up in a rural area with no fence. My opinion is a puppy under 6 to 8 months old should never be given the responsibility of understanding an invisible electronic fence. I'm not saying that there's no puppy mature enough that could. My personal opinion is that should never be in the conversation. And then the other half of my personal opinion is that between 6 months and a year, I'm gonna go a year and a half, depending on the maturity of the puppy, that they should still never be outside left alone. And it should be an ongoing, it should be part of training and reinforced for months, because you're dealing with a maturity issue and, in my opinion, a fairness issue. This is coming from someone who knows a really, really lovely family that was about to, and they weren't a client, I just know them. They were going to give up their dog, who was a hunting dog, who was about 10 months old, because he just kept getting out of the fence. And they didn't have the money to spend for what the contractor said that they needed to complete the fence for this dog. So they did an invisible fence, and they were able to keep their dog in their home. They've got kids, and they're a really lovely family. And they didn't even do much training. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I have seen the fallout for dogs that really aren't ready to handle something like that.
That's what pays for our cars.
Yes, I'm not going to repeat that, but yes. And so that is my personal opinion on that. And for adult dogs, it's totally fine. However, if a dog, if I see $1 million over there and you put one of those suckers on me, I'm going to cross that fence no matter what to get that $1 million.
Cross back?
And so you these dogs will cross the fence, and then they can't get back in. That is something that happens as well. But that's why she said with proper training. So everybody keep that in mind, that an electronic fence is not a magical fence. It still requires training, upkeep, reminders, all the good stuff. Okay.
We also don't have an age.
Do you want it from over there, or are we good?
No, they're just, there's
Okay, cool. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll see you same time, same place next week.